Every fund has a value creation plan. Every IC memo references one. Every operating partner is handed one at close. The assumption embedded in that infrastructure is that the plan converts into execution. It mostly doesn't. Most value creation plans become aspirational documents by Q2 of year one. And the dangerous part is not that they stall. The dangerous part is that nobody in the room names it when they do. The market has organized itself around the belief that having a value creation plan is the same as running one. LPs ask for it, the IC requires it, the operating partner presents it, management teams receive it, the board reviews it. Infrastructure around the plan is real. The accountability architecture inside the plan is not. For most of the last decade, this didn't matter. When leverage was cheap and multiples expanded, a plan that stalled in year one still produced a return. The financial engineering did the work that operations failed to do. Every multiple arbitrage absorbed execution failure. Revenue tailwinds bailed out stalled margin initiatives. The aspiration looked like strategy because the market confirmed it. That subsidy is gone. EBITDA margin improvement now accounts for 51% of value creation in exited deals, up from 21% 3 years ago. Revenue is not compensating for operational failure anymore. The margin has to be manufactured, and manufacturing margin requires someone to actually run the plan. The plan was always aspirational. The conditions that made aspiration sufficient have changed. Pull last year's value creation report out of any mid-market portfolio company and ask three questions. How many initiatives have a named owner? One person, not a function, not a committee. How many have a dollar figure attached? Not a target range, a number that belongs in this year's EBITDA bridge. How many have a quarter when that dollar figure hits the P&L? In most companies, the honest answer to all three, fewer than the plan suggests. The initiatives are real, the owners are shared. Shared ownership of an operating plan is the fastest path to no ownership at all. Ask who owns the value creation plan inside a typical PE-backed company, and you'll get three answers. The operating partner believes it's management's plan. Management believes it belongs to the sponsor. The investment team believes it belongs to both. None of them are wrong. All of them are describing the same structural failure. When ownership is distributed across three parties, accountability belongs to none of them. The plan survives every board meeting, the execution doesn't. This is not a management problem. This is an architecture problem. The plan was designed to satisfy the IC at entry. It was not designed to run through a 6-year hold in an environment that changes faster than the review cadence. When the VCP stalls, the holding period extends. When the holding period extends, IRR decays. Through time, through carry dilution, through the compounding cost of a management team optimizing for the wrong metrics. When IRR decays while DPI is already suppressed, 5-year rolling DPI for buyout funds just hit its lowest record level. The cost lands directly on fund performance, not market conditions. The cost of a stalled VCP is no longer absorbed by the environment. It's now visible in the fund's return profile, and it arrives at the moment when LPs are already making re-up decisions based on realized performance. The plan that stalled in Q2 of year one is the return that did not materialize in year 5. The market treats stalled value creation plans as execution problems. Consider whether they are design problems. A plan designed to close a deal has a different architecture than a plan designed to run a company. The VCP written for the IC is written to demonstrate thesis conviction. The VCP required to run operations needs named owners, quarterly relitigation, a bridge that connects each initiative to a dollar and a date. Most value creation plans are the former. The firms producing returns in this environment are building the latter. The contrarian position is not that planning fails. It's that the plan most PE-backed companies are running was never designed for the environment it is now being asked to operate in. A buyer evaluating a PE-backed company today will look at the value creation plan and ask one question before any other. Is the EBITDA in this bridge transferable? Or is it a projection built on initiatives that do not have owners? Buyers are pricing ownership gaps. A company that can't demonstrate named accountability for each lever in the bridge and show quarterly progression will face a discount regardless of top line performance. The buyer sees VCP not as a strategy document, but as an accountability document. What they are buying is not the plan, they are buying the organizational capability to execute it. The sponsor faces two simultaneous pressures. Distribution pressure is real. Half the buyout back portfolio has been held for 4+ years. The LP base is watching DPI, not IRR. Every quarter the exit doesn't happen is another quarter the return profile weakens. The asset cannot be sold at the multiple the model requires until the EBITDA bridge is credible. The bridge is not credible until each initiative has a named owner, a dollar figure, and a delivery quarter. The sponsor is holding an asset whose value is determined by a plan that nobody formally owns. That is a risk that doesn't appear on the cap table. The CFO sees the VCP quarterly. In most companies, the CFO is the only executive who tracks every initiative against the original plan and watches the gap between the plan and the bridge widen. The CFO's problem is not visibility. The CFO sees the problem monthly. The problem is that the CFO doesn't own the plan. The CFO tracks it. Tracking and owning are not the same accountability model, and the distinction is material when the plan is stalling and the hold period is extending. The CEO received the value creation plan at close and was asked to run it. By Q2 of year one, the operating environment had changed enough the plan needed to be relitigated, but there was no formal mechanism to do that without appearing to walk back the original agreement. The organizational pressure is to manage the plan rather than re-underwrite it. Managing to a plan that is no longer accurate produces a different outcome than re-underwriting the plan from current conditions and committing to a revised bridge. Most CEOs are doing the former. The board is not asking for the latter. That is a governance gap disguised as operational progress. If we pulled last year's value creation plan out today, how many initiatives have a named owner, a dollar figure, and a quarter when it hits EBITDA? How many are strategy aspirations that never made it to the bridge? When was the last time the board formally relitigated the VCP? Not reviewed progress against it, but re-underwritten it from current operating conditions. Who owns the value creation plan? Not who contributes to it. Who is accountable when it stalls? If a buyer evaluated this asset today, would the EBITDA bridge create conviction, or would they see a set of initiatives without owners and discount accordingly? The value creation plan was designed to close the deal. The conditions that allowed an aspirational plan to produce a return are gone. A margin has to be manufactured. The bridge has to be real. The owners have to be named. The firms producing distributions in this environment are not running better plans. They are running plans with better accountability architecture, named owners, quarterly litigation cadence, dollar and date commitments at the initiative level. The firms waiting for the market to bail out their stalled VCPs are discovering the market no longer does that. The question is not whether you have a value creation plan. The question is whether anyone is actually running it. My name is Preston Leahy, and that is why I am the go-to for payroll and private equity nationwide. No exceptions, no rivals. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video.